What's up, everyone? This is Guordan Banks, and you're watching the Millionaire Student Show with my brother Sashin.
Guordan, you started singing when you were just 2 years old. What percentage of music, entrepreneurship, or talent is a gift?
All of it. All of it is a gift, and that's the incredible thing about singing, is that when you are able to tap into that gift, you're able to really tap into your soul. And so I've been singing since I can remember. You know, my family, my mother had 8 of us, and we all sing. And so me being one of the youngest, I was almost like forced to sing. Not forced, but it's like a natural progression. So at 3 years old, my uncle put me on top of the basement, the church basement, and he gave me my first song to lead, and I'll never forget it. And from that moment on, I feel like that was the birth of me as an artist and as a singer and as a songwriter.
So as much as it's actually a gift, but if you break it down, what if someone does not have that gift? Does that mean, in due time, they won't have that type of success that they really and truly desire?
So are you referring to the gift of singing?
Yeah, well, both entrepreneurship, singing, talent alone.
Yeah, I feel like we all have a gift. And I feel like we all have to find that place inside of us to find that gift. And the first key to it all, it will be patience. And so patience is the key that unlocks any door. You know, when you think about sports and you think about singing, when you think about dancing, when you think about even what you do as an entrepreneur, if you don't have that certain level of patience, you can begin to push the universe against you instead of flowing with it, with that level of patience. So yeah, I think with enough patience, anyone can nurture any gift that's true to them,
So singing helped you, battle a childhood stuttering problem. How did that stuttering problem, become your gift?
Well, my mother, God bless her, Helen Austin, she was incredible for allowing me to be myself and never judging me for my stuttering. Like, I knew that I had a stuttering issue from going to school and kids teasing me, and kids are going to be kids, obviously. But my mother, obviously, we sing. I told you, all of us are singers, and so my mother noticed that through singing, I wouldn't stutter. So instead of like talking to her, she would have me literally sing everything to her. Like, if I wanted to go to the store, it was, can I go to the store? Something like that, or, whatever it was, I would sing it. And through that, I built my confidence as a speaker. And I realized that a lot of it was psychological, and it goes back to patience, taking your time, slowing down, getting your pace. And so, yeah, my mother was truly a blessing to me for identifying that. And I feel like that also helped me nurture my songwriting ability, being able to play around with words and phrases. Like a lot of my peers in the music industry, they respect me a lot and love me for my melodies. I'm a melodist. And so, yeah, it was necessary for me to go through that as a child. And that really wasn't a battle, but it was kind of sort of a blessing,
So in 4th grade, you were rejected from, a high school play.
Where did you read that?
I mean, I literally, I was so intrigued about your story.
Yeah.
Because, they say your mess can become your message.
Yes.
And you've turned that into your message.
Yes.
Digging deeper into your story, the director said you weren't a fit for the production.
Yeah.
And, if you couldn't speak clearly, how could he ever expect you to sing? That's what he said. But looking back, what if you bought into your teacher's opinions in that very moment? You know, there's so many people that let opinions drive their direction in life.
Man, first of all, such a powerful question. To be able to break that down and dissect that question is so necessary everywhere in the world for people to understand that people's words have the ability to shape them, and they have the ability to unshape them. And so I allowed those words to empower me, because when I was in the 4th grade, my teacher, he heard my voice. He heard me sing. And the teacher that was over the play, her name was Miss Liebergott. I don't know if she's even, I don't know what she's doing, but however, thank you for kicking me out of the play for stuttering and not being able to speak, as they will want me to speak. Because let's even break down stuttering, right? Stuttering is essentially my opinion of how you speak. So if I stutter to you, that's incorrect. But when you allow people to be themselves and you embrace people and you love people for themselves, it's not stuttering. It's really, you can't call it anything. It's just, that's that person. We all have our own unique ways, and we call some of them flaws, but there's really no flaws. There's only perception and opinion. Even with the way we write and the way we read, some may say, well, that's the incorrect way to write that. But if I go to Africa, where you're from, and I wrote the same thing, you guys may look at that piece of literature as a masterpiece, because it's all the perception. So I knew that then. I knew that was only her opinion of me. That wasn't fact. Well, how she felt about me wasn't the truth. I didn't allow her words to dictate who I shaped myself to be. I took her words and actually allowed myself that place where it's like, you know what? I love her for that, because I'm going to make sure that when I'm faced with another opportunity, that I overperform, that I go above and beyond, and I really give, that masterpiece. Because truthfully, I'm a master. I'm a master at songwriting. I'm a master at singing. And when you get knocked down and you're told, that you can't do something, that's your cue to master it. That's the universe cue to tell you, yo, master that, because they doubting you. And it's nothing you can't do. It's nothing you truly can't do. And that's been my testimony. And I'm glad that you asked the question, man. That was a great question.
And the universe would never, ever put you through that test if they did not know you would make one of the biggest comebacks from it.
Period.
So Meek Mills, always told you, you're one of the best to sing about pain. Do you believe your pain created and sustained your passion?
Well, first of all, I'm blessed to have met Meek Mill. Around the time that I met Meek Mill, I was in a place where I was doing a lot of songwriting, and I would sing songs, and I would submit songs, and I would pitch songs. And, a lot of times when you're pitching songs and you have a distinctive voice, people love the songs, but they may not hear themselves in the song, because they may just hear you. And so the first song I ever sent to Meek Mill was Used to Be a Used to, and he put it on Dream Chasers 2. And it was just a hit. Like, the streets loved it, people loved it, and it grew organically. I didn't know that he was keeping my voice on a song until the song actually came out. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I'm on a song with to me, one of the best rappers in the game, and still is. And so the the empowerment from that relationship, and the why I respect Meek so much is because he was the person that God put in my path to push me into the light as an artist. And it was like, imagine, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, how big, I was. I lost 100 pounds, 115 pounds in the last 2.5 years. And so for him to see who I'm becoming says a lot to his vision. And congratulations to him for criminal justice reform and for continuing to release great music, quality hip-hop music. And Dream Chaser Records, they just partnered with Rock Nation. And so, to see where he came from, because we both come from North Philly, to see where he came from, it's like motivating to everybody in that city. And that city has, shout out to Philadelphia. Philadelphia is an incredible city. And when people come together and they believe in a cause, and it's from the heart, and it's from the core, and it's from the soul, it's unstoppable. And we showed that with the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champs. We're not going to forget how they beat the Patriots. And we showed that with, criminal justice reform and free and Meek Mill, how the city came together and made that happen. That was incredible. And so, yeah, man, it's such a powerful thing when you have people around you that see your vision and that believes in your vision.
So I listened to a lot of your tracks, and it comes from a lot of personal development, self-development, where you're bringing out a better light on someone.
Yes.
When I break it down to the point of you got to actually fall in love with the process.
Yes.
And not the prize.
Yes.
And it's constant reselling yourself on why you need to be in love with that process.
Yes.
What is self-talk with Guordan like? What's that me talk that you have daily with yourself before you get into the studio?
It's literally what you just said. I only control the process. I don't control the outcome. All I have is this moment, is this process, is this right here with you. I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm not thinking about yesterday. I'm thinking about right now. What's going on in my mind is how can I have the best interview with you? How can we connect? How can we change the world through this interview? And how can we touch someone and reach someone through this? And this is the process. This is what I'm doing right now. And so that's what I do in moments. Like, I don't just do it once a day. Like, throughout the day, I have to keep reminding myself to starve the noise and feed my focus. And so that's what I will encourage people to do. Starve the noise. If it's noise in your head, if it's noise in your heart, starve it. And you know how you starve it? You feed your focus. You feed the things that make you feel happy. You feed the things that bring money. You feed the things that bring wealth. You feed the things that nurture your soul. And the things that don't, you starve those things. And that's my daily talk, Yeah,
self-talk is vital. Just being able to, because no one's going to motivate you. No one's going to excite you. No one's going to drive you and wake you up every single Saturday morning and tell you, hey, you got to go out there and execute. You got to go out there and write that new song, sing those lyrics.
But I want to talk. I want to talk to you about that, because that's true. No one will do that. But is it right? I think the first thing that we must do is we must wake up every day and serve someone every day. That has to be a part of your life process, because when you do that, you have less of that where you don't get that encouragement. Because how the universe works is that if I encourage you, if I encourage Austin, if I encourage Ken and Sahil, And I encourage them without looking for encouragement back. The law of reciprocity goes into effect. And someone from somewhere, from some type of sign, will begin to encourage me and begin to impart in me and begin to restore me. But what we have a problem with doing is we have a problem with going first. You know what I'm saying? We have a problem with going first. And so when you are willing to serve and add value later, change your life.
Yeah. Especially when there's no expectation.
Yes.
There's no expectation of, because when there is expectation, there's always disappointment. People always get disappointed when they believe I'm not receiving what I actually set out to, to put out there. Collaborations is not just a music terminology.
No.
Yes, you can collaborate. You've collaborated with the greatest, some of the best of the best. 50 Cent, John Legend. You've written songs for them. Keyshia Cole, Meek Mill, and the list goes on. But you had to get their attention at some point for them to know you exist. There's entrepreneurs out there who have business ideas. That's just a thought. And it actually hasn't been executed. What they're looking for is someone to recognize them, to collaborate with them. And that doesn't happen. What did you have to do to rise above the rest to get noticed?
Well, you have to do the things that no one else is willing to do. And that's really, really it. I'm not saying compromise your integrity, but, I remember catching the bus from New York, from Philadelphia to New York. Every day I would catch the Chinese bus for $20. And some days $20 was all I had. And I was praying that, my brother Biscuit or Butter or Clayton would, give me, $5 so I can get some street meat, You ever had street meat in New York with the rice? The best meal ever, especially when you're hungry. But it was that passion and it was that commitment, and you got to remember that passion doesn't substitute for commitment. You got to have both. And so that's what I would encourage, the listener and whoever that listener is, like, passion is cool, but you got to commit to it. Commitment is everything. Commitment is why we're here. Commitment is why, Austin is behind the camera, because he's committed, and so, yeah.
So your first official single, Keep You in Mind, reached number one on Billboard's Urban, chart. Your other single, Mirror, won a Grammy.
It did. Layla Hathaway, yes, it did. Incredible.
So what did it feel like when they called your name out and the Grammy was actually in your hand?
I knew it was going to happen. I knew once the album got nominated, I knew the album would win. And I put my intention in winning. And that's what happened.
So it was so clear, so concise, and a winner can recognize another winner. And whilst I sit here and listen to you speak, your vision is not just so clear, but at the end of the day, you knew that you were going to win. So the celebration is totally different.
Yeah.
People dance around, they jump around when they knew that they weren't going to win. So that expectation is, okay, cool, I'll just show up to the Grammys because my name's going to be called out. Mm-hmm. But I'm not really going to get the trophy. And now you actually win. So there's no real celebration. Yes, there's a lot of gratitude, but it's a stepping stone. They say the first million is generally the hardest. The first Grammy was probably the most difficult.
Mm-hmm.
How do you sustain that? How do you maintain that?
Well, I have been blessed with a special gift from God, from the source. And it's the ability to create, the ability and the power to create. It's an infinite power. It's an infinite gift. And because I know that and because I've tapped into that, I don't have pressure. I don't feel pressure. I don't know what pressure feels like. I used to, I had to grow to this place that I'm at today. The place of knowing, the place of accepting, the place of non-detachment, being detached from the outcome. It's a beautiful thing. And I feel like when we play, the game of life and we just have fun with it, we just enjoy it. We go through our moments. We have our happy moments. We have our sad moments. We have our joyous moments. We have our lucrative moments. We have the moments that we lose. But we enjoy it. We enjoy it and we enjoy it and we enjoy it and we enjoy it. And that's what I'm encouraged the millions of listeners to do. Enjoy life. Enjoy it. This moment doesn't last forever. Of course, we are infinite creative beings and our soul is everlasting, but this physical body is so temporary. So love fiercely, like love with everything you got.
So Guordan, whilst I have you on the Millionaire Student Show, I got to hear a live performance, especially of that Grammy winning performance, at least the chorus.
Of that song? Yep. Sometimes you gotta make the mirror your best friend, and maybe then you'll find some peace within. Stop hiding yourself. Stop hiding yourself. Love yourself when no one else can. Do 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 do. So this morning when I woke up, I generally have a song on repeat. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the minute I woke up till the minute I left my hotel room. I had that song playing about 15 times. No, bro, you're like the third, bro. I gotta shoot a video to this song because everybody has been hitting me about this particular song. And I wrote this song about 12 years ago, but in the last 48 hours, and I kid you not, I can show you on my Instagram, about like 10, 15 people have been reaching out to me about this particular song, and it's not a new release. So it just says to me that I got something about that song I got to tap into. So thank you for telling me that, and that's confirmation. So before we wrap this up, you organically let that song grow. You didn't push it into people's faces because, as you mentioned, it took years for people to recognize and appreciate that song. Certain people are starting off businesses today. I've got my own record label where I have, an artist, but there's multiple artists listening to this right now. And you're always going to have people that's going to push their art, push their talent in your face just to go out there and benefit off them for themselves. Life is a long process. Mm-hmm. Before we wrap this up, what would you like to leave the listeners to? I would say, do your best. Do your best and keep your word. Do your best and keep your word and start there. And when you do your best, what doing your best does, it opens you up to a place where you don't look for validation because you did your best and you did your best and you gave your best. And keeping your word means everything because the quote and the metaphor is your word is your bond. And when you think about the word, I don't want to get too religious, but, the word was everything in Genesis. The word was God and the word was with God. And so the word has power that's far beyond what we can explain. So when we just, nowadays in this society, we just say whatever we want. We just use our words and just let them fly because we don't know the value of the word. Understand what your word means. Be impeccable with your word. And so, yeah, I'm learning that every day. and I'm becoming better at that every day. None of us are perfect. Allow yourself time to fail. Allow yourself to fail. Allow yourself to make a mistake. Allow yourself to, fall short. Allow yourself that. Give yourself that. If Michael Jordan didn't, if he didn't make his high school basketball team, like you said, would he have became the Jordan that we all love him for? So allow yourself that space. And, it's been a pleasure. This platform and your conversation and your questions, I'm just excited to listen to the other interviews because I like your approach and I like how you want to educate the people. And that goes a long way. And you will be blessed tremendously for that.
I appreciate that. But from stuttering to winning a Grammy, Guordan Banks, thank you so much for being on the Millionaire Student Show.
Yes.
I appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you. For sure.